The Chitrik Academy is dedicated in loving memory of Rabbi Tzvi Hirsh Chitrik. Welcome to today's lesson. Today we are going to learn from Gemara until Laikani over here. Let's have a little introduction. The Mishnah had said in the first case, if Shnayim Ochazin b'talis, if two people are holding on to a talis that they found, Zaimer ani mitzasiya, this person says, I found it. V'zaimer ani mitzasiya, and the other person says, I found it. Zaimer kula shali, this person says it totally belongs to me. V'zaimer kula shali, and this person says that it totally belongs to me. So the Gemara is going to analyze and ask, are these two cases or one case? Is it that one person says, it's mine and I found it first and it's totally mine? Or it seems that it's two cases. One is if a person said, Ani mitzasiya, I found it first. And the second is Zayim kula shali, one person says, it's totally mine. So that's what our Gemara is going to discuss. Is it two cases or is it one case and they're saying the same thing, that I found and therefore it's totally mine? And if it's one case, why does it seem to repeat itself in the Mishnah? Let's see this in the Gemara. Says the Gemara is going to ask a question. So let's put a question mark on the side, so we'll know this is where the question begins. Lamali lemisna. Why does it need to say in the Mishnah? Ze omer ani mitzasiya. V'ze omer ani mitzasiya. That this person says, I found it. And this person says, I found it. Ze omer kula shali. V'ze omer kula shali. And it also says, this person says it totally belongs to me. And this person says it totally belongs to me. Let's make a comma. Lisna chada. Just write one of them. It seems to be repeating itself. If a person says that he found it, obviously he means that it totally belongs to him. So why does it seem to be repeating itself in the Mishnah? It seems like two different cases. Answers the Gemara. Let's make a line A over here. That's where the answer is. Chadaktani. Really, it's one case. What does this mean? That the person is saying, Ze omer ani mitzasiya v'kula shali. This person says, I found it, and it belongs totally to me. V'ze omer ani mitzasiya v'kula shali. And the other person says, I found it, and it's totally mine. And this is the way the Gemara explains the Gemara. That explains the Mishnah. Let's see this on our board. Our Mishnah refers to a case where two people are holding on to a talus. There's a talus with the lines and the strings. One person's holding it from one side, the other person's holding it from the other side. And what are they saying? The Mishnah says two things that they are saying. One is ani mitzasiya, and the other one is kula shali, that it totally belongs to me. So the Gemara asked, are these two separate cases, or is it one case? That person said, I found it and it's totally mine. And if it's one case, why does the Mishnah seem to divide it into two? So let's write down the question. Let's change the color. Is it one case or two? And the Gemara answers that it's one case. Gemara answers that it's really one case. That a person is saying, I found it and it totally belongs to me. So let's get the answer. Answer is that it's one case. Now the Gemara is going to ask, if it's one case, why does it use two expressions? Why does it seem that the Mishnah divides it into two? Let's see. Let's go back to our Gemara. The Gemara asks a question, so let's make a question mark. if it's one case, so v'lisnei ani mitzasiya, the Mishnah should just write that I found. One person says I found it, v'anayadaina de kula shali, and we know the kula shali that he's saying that it totally belongs to him. Why does the Mishnah use two expressions? Now let's see the Gemara's answer. Let's make an A for the answer. Itana ani mitzasiya. If it would just say that a person said, I found it first, have amina, we would have said, my mitzasiya, riisiya. Then what does it mean when a person says, I found an item first? I saw it first. Afagav, deloyasu yadi. Even though it never actually reached his hand, b'ri'iyah ba'al makane. Just by seeing it, he would be able to keep it. What does this mean? In a case where a person is walking down the street and sees an item on the floor, let's say sees a talus, right? If he sees a talus. So in our Mishnah we said that each one of them said, Ani mitzasiya, I found it. So and the Mishnah says that they get to keep half. So if the Mishnah would only say, that each one says, I found it, we would think that just by seeing something on the floor, a person could say, I saw it first, and therefore I get to keep it. Comes the Mishnah and says, they don't only say, I found it first, rather they also say, Kula shali, that it actually totally belongs to me because I did an action. I picked it up. That's why the Mishnah uses both expressions. Ani mitzasiya, I found it, and kula shali, and it's totally mine because I didn't only just see it, right? Let's cross out. I didn't only just see it, rather they actually lifted it up, which is the case which we drew originally, that they're each holding on to it. Let's see this in the Gemara. Tana kula shali, therefore the Mishnah writes kula shali as well. The b'ri'iyah loikani, that just by seeing an object, a person can't say that they found it first and therefore it should belong to them. They need to actually lift the item in order for it to become theirs. This is the end of this lesson.